My man, Engineer Steve, always keeping it fun for us in the stash. I appreciate you, Steve. And I appreciate you, gang, for hanging out. We're live in the secret stash, tracking down some cool local people, talking about definitely some cool local stuff. And who knows, maybe a story or two in the process with a singular goal, leaving you a little better than how we found you. And my man, Rick Davis, is in the studio today. Now, Rick is the sales director for Pacific Gate project we've been talking about over the last two segments now downtown. It is going to be the seminal thing that will redefine and reshape not only downtown skyline, but also sort of wake us up and mature us and bring us into that level of, say it again,
Superstar City.
Superstar City. And the other thing which was cool, that you gave me a vocab word, which is the I'm gonna lose it now. what did you say it was?
You're talking about Super Prime?
Yeah, Super Prime. That's what it is. I'm so using Super Prime.
Yeah.
That's a perfect little depictor of exactly what's going to happen now. I believe this is going to be a piece, as you said it best, that other people are going to follow now and step up their game. And literally, like, Columbia is going to be the spot in probably the next, 5 to 10 years, no?
I would think so, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you want to get more information about this, we've already been talking about the rethinkdowntown.com. Go check it out. Learn a little bit more about San Diego's history. Learn a little bit more about Pacific Gate. See the model. This is all some really, really cool resources that Rethink set up for you, and they're going to be folding it down on Sunday. So go down to rethinkdowntown.com, or you can call them at 619-795-3612. Get down to that exhibition on 1st and G before this Sunday and learn a little bit more about this. Speaking of learning, though, they just recently released, they meaning you, Pacific Gate, recently released what exactly this is going to be offered here. So like units specifically, right? So why don't you walk us through what Pacific Gate is going to consist of?
Well, there's 215 residences, and they'll be comprised of two-bedroom den, three-bedroom, or three-bedroom den floor plans. And both builds and designs pretty generous-sized floor plans. So I would say in the ballpark, they range from the two bedrooms from 1,300 to about 1,800 square feet.
Okay.
And then the three-bedroom dens up to about 2,600 square feet. So comfortable living size spaces. Mm-hmm. So we're very excited about the size and the floor plans. As you can see by the rendering of the building in the pictures you've seen, the skin of this building is floor-to-ceiling glass. Yeah. So one of the things that's really exciting about will be exciting about being in these residences is the floor-to-ceiling glass makes a space feel so much bigger than a typical style condominium or residence. So really exciting.
No question.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And curved glass. So floor-to-ceiling curved glass. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, and there's few examples of that even exist. Like, I'm even thinking about some of the cooler hotels, like when you see, like out in Vegas or something, where they have like infinite amounts of budgets. Like, it's rare that you see that in a residence where it's floor to ceiling glass throughout the entire building.
Yeah.
Yeah, very rare.
Yeah.
Also, what's rare is that size being offered in downtown. There's very few. I'll say I don't know if there's hardly any, unless you're getting into the penthouse style, like 3 beds with a den. Getting up to like 2,600 square feet plus. That's going to be a very interesting component of the market that actually currently doesn't really exist.
Yes, I mean, there are some large floor plans in downtown San Diego, but I would say BOSA tends to build some of the bigger ones. So other than suites in other properties have been combined, it's definitely one of the bigger floor plans down there.
Yeah.
So.
Now, is there going to be like a super gangster level, like kind of like a penthouse kind of thing for the Uber elite?
No, the 3-bedroom den will be the largest floor plan we have available.
Okay.
So.
Okay, sounds good. Now, too early to tell with price, right? But we're probably going to be kicking this party off somewhere around the 1.4 and up range. Would you not agree?
Yeah, it's in the 1.4s is where our prices will start, and we'll have more detailed pricing in the new year as we'll start to release price ranges and get more detailed pricing information out. So
yeah. Now, we talked about the Rethink Downtown being sort of repurposed into what'll probably eventually end up being the sales office for Pacific Gate. And that might come out, who knows, maybe first couple months of the new year, right?
Correct.
What's the sales process actually going to look like? So if someone's interested, they're curious, they're raising their hand right now, what's that going to look like?
Well, the thing to do right now is get on the interest list.
Right.
We don't have the details on our sales process. We know we will be going to sale sometime in early 2016, and that's really the only level of detail we've got right now.
Yeah.
But the most important thing I can say is make sure you get on the list because there is a lot of demand for this building already.
Yeah. And if you want your name on the list, not only to be on the list, but also for future updates, go down to thegreenhousegroupinc.com/Pacific 8, and we'll get you on that list. So maybe more, I was like leading with the crazy luxury ones, right? And we were talking about the last segment about some of the amenities like the chef concierge and the private fleet of luxury cars and the private boat. What about the stuff that you're come to expect with this project?
The normal amenities?
Normal amenities, sure.
Well, there's a gorgeous pool on the 4th floor podium with cabanas, very much a resort-style pool environment.
Okay.
With a great, I guess you could call it a meeting room, but it's really more of a party room with a kitchen so you can entertain large groups. There's also a screening room in the building, a business center, a workout area, of course, steam room.
What would the screening room be used for?
Watching movies with a group,
Wow.
or some sort of a meeting if you want it. But it's designed to watch a movie with a large group. So
actually, like almost like a theater,
like
kind
a
of
small
design?
theater.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And Jesse, one of the exciting things about this building, in addition to the exterior architecture that we talked about, is the interior design firm that is designing the lobby areas and the elevator walkways and all that. The company called Hirsch Bedner, they're based out of San Francisco.
Okay.
And they are a world-class interior designer. They're renowned for designing the Ritz-Carltons, the Mandarin Oriental hotels, Four Seasons. They are known as the top designer in the industry for some of the world's finest hotels. And this project is using them as the interior design firm for not only the common areas, but also the kitchen. The kitchen in this project is designed by HBA. It's a kitchen that you cannot by any means go out and buy anywhere. It will be custom designed just for this building. So these are the type of world-class details by world-class architects and interior designers that are going to be components of the building. So really, really exciting. In fact, we had a conference call with the interior designers a couple of weeks ago, and it's difficult to put into words the level of interior design that you will see here. And the lady from HBA that we were on the phone with just said, developers typically are not willing to spend this kind of a money on the interior of a building, but BOSA is.
So say more about that, because I think, if something's getting lost right now in the hype and the excitement of, this being a really cool project and a seminal piece and stuff like that, I mean, I feel like that's an underserved component of some of the things that I've read so far, or maybe other people kind of talking about this project more at like a highfalutin 30,000 foot level. But that's really a critical piece because BOSA takes their time. Their projects are sound. We were joking earlier. I mean, they're going to probably end up owning most of downtown here before long with their 7 projects already. And then how many do they have coming up?
I think he has 6 or 7 more in the works.
6 or 7 more coming up, exactly. But it's the detail. It's the attention to detail. It's that concept that, a lot of developers, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but the concept is to just sprint to market and you can cut corners along the way. How is BOSA different in that capacity?
Well, he's got a reputation over the last 40 years that he has built of building the highest quality buildings that you can buy. So his projects up and down the West Coast, mostly Vancouver, San Francisco, Seattle currently. He has a project in Orange County, but San Diego is kind of his baby.
Yeah.
And he has literally. And he's got a great reputation here for building a very high quality product. I can tell you personally, and his integrity is more important to him than anything. And this project, Pacificate, is now what we're calling a signature residence of his. It's really him leaving his legacy. He's built a lot of great projects up and down the West Coast, but now he's stepping into a legacy type building that he is giving to San Diego. Super prime, and you can hear him say on some of our videos that he believes San Diego deserves the best building in the world, best buildings in the world, and he's going to give it to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like, I don't want to paraphrase what you said better than I did, but there's this wellspring that's sort of happening. I think it's a lot derived from the fact that you said, like earlier, like we are young. Like we're not Boston. We're not New York. We're not East Coast. We're not Miami. I mean, this is a brand new conversation that's just now starting to come into its own. And then you couple that with some of the macroeconomic elements that are sort of germane to our city, and then the fact that you've got this huge influx of interest that seems to be just flowing in an international basis. I was just on the Facebooks last night, Rick, and I saw something from National Geographic. They were saying that San Diego, like internationally, got one of the highest rankings that they give out. Do you feel like we're kind of arriving right now, and that this is sort of a confluence of the perfect project at the perfect time?
Yes, the National Geographic you're referring to might have been the smartest city. They had and it was an hour-long show on the National Geographic channel about San Diego as a smart city. And I think they even said it was the smartest city. We've always called it America's finest city.
Yeah.
But they called it the smartest city.
So could we technically change that name now? Does that give us the right to do that?
So,
you don't be pretentious or anything, right?
Yeah. So, San Diego is stepping onto a big stage, and San Francisco is obviously pretty mature West Coast downtown. Seattle, pretty mature. Vancouver, if you've been to Vancouver, where Nat Bosa has been building for many years, very mature downtown, probably 20 or 30 years ahead of where San Diego is right now.
You think Seattle's more mature than this downtown? You'd know better than I would.
I think so, in some ways. Mm-hmm. In some ways, they have some world-class architecture there.
Okay.
Sure. Not a tremendous amount of it, but there isn't a tremendous amount. There really isn't any what we would call super prime real estate on the West Coast, in my opinion, yet. It's coming, and there are several.
Not even San Francisco?
Maybe. When you think of San Francisco, we talked about it earlier, buildings define cities. You obviously think of the Transamerica building,
right.
That is been there for many, many years.
I was going to say ancient. You said it nicely again.
From a residential point of view, which a lot of the super prime projects are across the globe, you're getting these world-class residential projects. New York's a perfect example. You have Frank Gehry designed buildings. There's a new project there called 432 Park, I think. It's now going to be the highest condominium tower in New York City, 188 stories, I think, 110 feet tall. I can't remember how high it is. It's very high. Just exciting super prime real estate going in. We're just starting to see it on the West Coast. So.
And speaking of just starting to see, we're just starting to actually get our hands wrapped around exactly what Pacific Gate is going to end up looking like. So, we talked about the timeline earlier. It looks like we're going to be starting the sales process in earnest beginning of the year. First quarter for sure, right?
Yes.
After they sort of repurpose that Rethink spot down in 1st and G. The luxury amenities, the more general amenities already in place. A couple things, though, they're still going to be yet to be determined are how much the exact floor plan, like what the exact floor plans are going to look like, how much each floor plan is going to be selling for, the HOA fee, these types of things, as well as getting your name on an early interest list so you can be involved in all this information and also get your name in the queue, you might say, because this is going to be a hotly contested for conversation down there. Go to thegreenhousegroupinc.com/Pacific Gate and sign up there, and we'll get you on the early interest list and updated information. And more timely, keep driving this home, Rick, Rethink Downtown San Diego is going to be folding up shop come Sunday.
Yep.
And you're going to want to make sure you get down there. If this is at all pinging or resonating with you, that's the place to start, because you'll be able to walk with not only a good history and all kinds of different resources, but a vision for how this project specifically is going to be communicating with the entire downtown city and skyline for, dare we say, generations to come. A seminal piece. That's why we got our man Rick Davis, the sales manager of Pacific Gate, in the studio today. So coming up, Rick, we might say, final thoughts? I know there's a very cool philanthropy that we're going to be talking about as well that is actually going to be part and parcel to this specific project. And I want to make sure people understand that. And probably a little bit more. Rick Davis, Real Talk Radio, Secret Stash. We'll be right back.